I am a big fan of supporting those creators that may or may not be big on the market in general, and it also includes game developers, which is why I've been trying to push Terra Invicta pretty hard the last few weeks, specifically due to their Kickstarter being ran. Now, well, it's finally time for that Kickstarter to come to an end. In a couple of hours, the Kickstarter will wrap up, and it's currently sitting at a massive $201,000 or 171,000 euros worth of Kickstarter funds, and that means that a whole bunch of new items have been unlocked for their stretch goals. We're gonna quickly go over these, and maybe in the last couple hours you feel, hey, I want to get these final stretch goals funded, and throw in your lot. And if not, well, you can always take a look at it later on when it comes out on Steam. There will be a link for the Steam wish list in the comments below. Anyway, a lot of stuff has been done as of right now. All human factions are now going to be playable upon release, which means that there is going to be resistance, there is going to be escapists for people who want to leave the solar systems, the servants who want to embrace the aliens, etc., etc. So there's a bunch of new stuff there, which is really cool. A new ship set has been funded, which means more sleeker designs rather than your bog standard ships that you would see in classic NASA-inspired style space stuff with a lot of giant solar panels, etc. So feel free to go and check that one out. The Cold War scenario, which is also part of the Kickstarter, where you will start most likely either in the 60s, 70s, or 80s and having to deal with the alien invasion. And of course, this comes with an entire new set of political intrigue. Because, well, let's put it this way, the Cold War was definitely a very different world than the geopolitics that we have today. Then voice acting has been added as well. More voice acting will be added to the game, which is nice. I do like myself some characters, which is always cool. And basically voice acting will be added to the game upon released. 3D Earth elements, I'm not entirely sure what they mean by that 100%. Fully realized Earth armies, alien walkers, and megafauna will now roam the globe and do battle. Rockets will launch to the sky with this enhanced view as well, using 3D models. So right now what we have, at least from the screenshots, is basically flat 2D objects that go into battle in terms of war, and those seem to be going to be replaced with 3D objects similar to what you could find in say like a chess game, 3D items basically. I don't expect a lot of direct involvement in that in terms of moving them around, etc. But still, it's nice to have. And now finally, the last stretch goal, which is pending. They still have got $10,000 to go as of making this video, which the foothold scenario is where you start off in space already and completely bypass the geopolitics of the planet. And yeah, you essentially start out with a humanity that has already spread to Mars, the asteroid belts, the Jovian moons, etc. And now the aliens arrive. Think of the setting from The Expanse, essentially. So Belta Loda, if you're ready to embrace that, feel free to throw in your dimes in on that one. But yeah, the Kickstarter is coming to an end, and I'm really looking forward where this is going to go. It's still a ways away, of course, from release, and as of right now, over 4,000 people have backed this project, and that is very exciting. In addition, I am running a couple of videos in the background here with some gameplay mechanics that are already in the game in a certain way. Of course, the game is currently very much in pre-alpha, as we can explore the solar system and take a look at the planet to see what sort of mechanics are available and what things look like. Whether or not it be combat, whether or not it be geopolitics, what the UI looks like, what the characters look like, and how you can interact with all the different factions as well as the characters that you have on your side. In addition, there's also the tactical combat view, which is essentially the space combat within the game, which looks fascinating to me, especially in a 4X environment where, well, let's put it this way, you take your fleet and send them into different directions and make live updates on their trajectories. They are very much Newtonian, which means that once a object moves into a certain direction, speed, velocity at least, and momentum will force you into that direction until you adjust your thrusters and force yourself into another direction. And this could potentially really set things up in an interesting way when it comes to your weapon scenarios. Do you have a front-loaded weapon like a spinal mount cannon or something along those lines, or are you more broadside orientated? These are some of the questions that I wonder about, and positioning your spaceships could be really, really interesting in these scenarios, which is something that I am looking forward to. I wonder how this is going to work out, especially with minor battles, because one of the reasons why minor battles are not all that interesting in games like Total War is you just go and auto-resolve those, and it really depends on how important the large scale of the combat is. If the combat is only very infrequent and very, very important when it comes to your resolution, then of course you will want to get the best result possible from your combat. If it happens all the time with one ship versus one ship and it's not really all that interesting, then auto-resolve is usually the case there because, well, nobody wants to sit through a million tiny fights in order to get stuff done. But yeah, as you can see on your screen right now, this is an overview of what space combat looks like on a grid style thing with thrusters and directions being added and dragging your trajectories over towards the enemy. And of course, you can also see what damage has been done to your cruisers, your battleships, etc. Also gunships and monitors, which I think is very interesting. No real, nothing shown so far about any celestial objects, whether or not those are going to be a problem, and whether or not combat in, say, an asteroid belt or around an asteroid is going to be a thing. It'd be really interesting to see if there's going to be any environmental effects, which could be interesting from a space combat point of view, because, you know, in the end, space is a very big and empty place. Do you really, are the trajectories going to be all that important in that case? And I think so, that it will be. Still, though, I'm really looking forward to see this and where this is going to go. Right now, Terra Invicta is wrapping up its Kickstarter and will be available sometime next year. If you have pledged to be in the alpha for, I quickly need to check here what the price for that was. Let's take a look here. The pre-order was, what, 22 euros, which is pretty decent. And I think it's like $100 for the alpha. No, that's $100 is beta. Alpha is $250, which is still pretty interesting for people. But again, alpha is alpha, and whether or not that is fun to play is a whole different discussion. So yeah, there you go. Terra Invicta, the Kickstarter's coming to an end. If you like it, feel free to pledge. If not, well, feel free to add it to your Steam wishlist at the bottom of the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my patrons for making this video. We'll keep an eye on Terra Invicta as it develops into the future, as well as some other games that are coming out in the sci-fi area of development, because I really want to cover more sci-fi games on this channel, and I think there's a lot of very interesting games out there that could be interesting for you to enjoy. The world is not just all Stellaris, but yeah, as I always say, variety is the spice of life. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take good care of yourselves, and as always, don't let the aliens overrun the solar system. This is our place. This is where we keep our stuff.